Concern to me, peeps and NBA fans all around the world. What is up? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion, joined by Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Woo! Dude, the Heat are up 2-0 in an insane game in my personal opinion. First of all, personal opinion, only non-alleged any facts, not guys, all fair entertainment personally. Please check disclaimers. This went to the OT, peeps, okay? Now, LeBron could have finished this thing out right there at the end in the regular session, but that didn't happen. That's fine. Then it goes to the OT. And Boston was right in this. I mean, Paul, Boston jumped out to a lead early in this game. They were doing their thing, playing physical. I mean, the Heat just, you know, in a lot of ways, in my personal opinion, couldn't find the range at the stripe for the free throws, especially, you know, Dwayne Wade. I don't know what happened there. Dwayne had a little bit of a flat shot. Rondo just went totally crazy with so many points, especially in the OT with those back-to-back threes. I mean, bringing them right in the mix. And then Paul Pierce, I want to talk about that. Paul Pierce, you know, hit the locker room. That's going to be another video about that whole situation. But, I mean, wow, dude, when the Heat needed to step up, you had LeBron James doing what he needed to do, backing it into the low post. You had Dwayne Wade getting the cutters and the and ones. And this team here has them. I mean, you know, a lot of things came together. They were able to get the win on their home court. This was a huge win. And now, Paul, I mean, Boston, if they can't win tonight, and, you know, they put this many minutes in, this much emotion, and they're down, you know, 2-0, I think Boston's in a really tough spot here, and I think the Heat are in control.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Look, if you have a night where Rondo scores 44 points and has 10 assists, 8 rebounds, you were up by 15 points in the first half. Yeah. You had a chance to seal things or get it done in the fourth quarter, late third, or definitely in the fourth quarter. And Miami missed at least 15 free throws. I mean, they were just missing, and they were missing big free throws. Now, I'm looking right now. They missed 16 free throws.
Wow.
Boston only missed 3, and Miami missed 16. They did 2 things early on in this game, Boston did. Number one, they trapped Dwayne Wade on the high pick and roll. Wade's one of the best guys in the league, probably the best, and probably one of the best ever. When a guy comes up, sets a screen, he's up high, and he can just go right through guys, dart, zigzag. Boston shut that down. Dwayne Wade only had 2 points at the half, and they were confused. Miami was confused. The second thing was Miami was flat. They were flat at the start of this game. We were talking on the phone. I said, man, they look flat. They just don't have it right now. And Rondo couldn't miss.
No.
He hit everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like Tony Parker yesterday. He just hitting every single shot he put up. And if you don't win this game, you're not winning maybe any games. This is like, we talked about this before we came on camera. This, to me, is like Oklahoma City versus San Antonio game 1. Oklahoma City, in my opinion, should have won that game, and they didn't. And when you are the underdog in a series, when you don't have home court advantage, if you don't take your opportunities when you're there, not only does it hurt you in terms of just you're down another game, psychologically it hurts you. Rondo played the entire game tonight. This is not a series with a bunch of breaks. They're going to be playing again with 1 day rest, and they got to fly back to Boston now. I'm telling you right now, Boston's going to be tired physically, and they're going to be tired mentally because they're going to know we gave it our best shot and we still lost.
Well, that's right. They're going to go back to Boston. They're going to have to play again on Friday. And you have to think, you know, what does Rondo have left in the tank? Physically and emotionally. And look at Paul Pierce and look at Ray Allen. I mean, that team, I think they're a little banged up, and I don't know if they're going to be able to respond. Go ahead.
They're definitely banged up. I mean, look, I give the Celtics credit. They really showed their heart tonight. But they're dragging. There's multiple guys have injuries. Paul Pierce has a banged up knee. Ray Allen has bone spurs in his ankle or ankles. There's been different reports about Kevin Garnett banged up. There's different reports of Rondo banged up. Greg Steamsma, the backup center, he apparently has plantar fasciitis. I mean, everybody's hurt on that team. I think they laid it all out there tonight, and you give them tons of credit, but they didn't win. But we respect the effort. You know, they went out there, and Rondo gave everything he had. Miami, I was thinking in the first half, man, you guys can't play like this. If you're going to play the Spurs, you'll get blown out.
Right.
But they came back and they did what they had to do in this game, and you got to give them credit. They won.
There's no doubt about it, and in some ways it reminded me of that first game, Paul, where, the third quarter was really the response quarter and where they turned around. Somehow this Heat team's able to go in there at the half and bring something new and added out of that third quarter, and that really put them in position to be able to do what they need to do to get this thing to the OT and then obviously win the game. I mean, look, I think...
Right.
Go ahead.
Let me just say this. One of and this was pointed out on the American telecast on ESPN by former NBA head coach Jeff Van Gundy. One of the things that Miami did after halftime was they changed up how they were playing defense on Rajon Rondo. Before halftime, Rondo was running pick and roll with different guys, and Miami was trailing on the play. Like the original guy that was guarding Rondo was staying with him, but when the pick was set, he was losing him. And so whatever. What they did after halftime was they switched it, meaning the guy that was getting picked, he switched on to Rondo. And that slowed down Rondo from attacking the rim, and it made him do like isolations, like the point guard against the center and stuff like that. But that really worked. That helped slow down what Rondo was doing, and it just kind of disrupted the flow of their offense. And that helped a great deal. And I'll say, Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of Miami Heat, he has been criticized in the past as not being a good adjuster in game. He's good between games, but supposedly he's not good in the game. He made a good adjustment here, and that was a very important part of why Miami won this game.
I agree, and I think that whole defensive switch action, as you said, slowed down Rondo and made him work even that much harder. And I mean, look, I give Rondo credit. I mean, I remember that time near the end there where he just blew past LeBron James, but how much can one person do? And I think, Paul, with Ray Allen banged up, with Paul Pierce sitting out with fouls, I just don't think that this Boston team was able to handle the size and physicality of the Heat down low, and I think that showed up as well. And again, I don't think they're going to have the proper answer for the Heat, even when this thing goes back to Boston. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Boston, win a game there, or maybe even win perhaps 2 games. But I think the Heat are probably going to pick up at least a game there and then close this thing out in Miami, Paul.
I totally agree with that. The first thing you said, the physical aspect of the game, there was a lot of talk coming into this game because Rondo had said after the game 1 loss, hey, we need to put them on the deck. In other words, the guys are coming in on layups, we have to foul them hard. He wasn't trying to say anything dirty, but just, don't give them easy layups. The problem for Boston is they used to be a very physical team. They had Kendrick Perkins at center, who now plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they had Glenn Big Baby Davis, who now plays for the Magic. Both of those guys are 280 plus. Well, they don't have those guys anymore. The biggest guy on the team is Garnett, who's not that big. Greg Steemsma, he's a rookie. I mean, he's not, he had 4 fouls tonight in about 5 minutes. So they don't have anybody that can play that way. And so when you're going up against guys like LeBron, who's 260, 270, you can't do that even if you want to do it. And as you said, I really believe that this was the best shot Boston had. I can see them winning a game at home, but I think this series, just from what happened tonight, I don't think it's going more than 5 games.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look, and Rondo, again, super props, played amazing tonight, but I think, that in some ways, Rondo maybe have been writing checks with his mouth that his play couldn't cash, if you will. And like you said, Big Baby's not there, Perkins isn't there. The thing is people might want to say, maybe some haters want to talk about, the mental toughness of LeBron James, and maybe some other people. The bottom line is LeBron James is the MVP, and LeBron James is a total physical specimen of an athlete, okay? He has the size. He has the speed. You do not want to get this athlete mad at you because you're going to get burned on the court. And the bottom line is no matter what you want to say, Rondo, in my personal opinion, you cannot physically match up with LeBron on the low post, and we saw it tonight. He walked you straight back to the hoop. And Paul, that's the thing right there. You can talk all you want, you can run your mouth and talk all the trash, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to show it up on the court, and they just didn't have the firepower to be able to match the size and the speed and the toughness, in my personal opinion, of the Heat.
Yeah, look, LeBron James is basically like a defensive end or tight end playing a point forward in the NBA.
Yeah.
He is just a brick in terms of the way he's built. He's pretty much indestructible, and as I've said in other videos, in about a year or two, when LeBron has his post game even better than it is now, nobody's going to be able to stop him. I mean, you can stop him now if his jump shot's missing, whatever, but pretty soon you're not going to have any chance to stop him because he'll just take you in the post like he did with Rondo. Now, look, Rondo had that one play with LeBron where he caused the jump ball, but that was because LeBron was double-teamed.
Yeah.
I agree with you, what you said. It's you can talk, and you can be the tough guy and the tough talk. At the end of the day, Rajon Rondo is about 6'1", 170 pounds. And LeBron James about 6'7", 270 pounds. So, you don't have Kendrick Perkins or Big Baby Davis there anymore to back it up. And as much as I love Kevin Garnett's 36 years old. And, you have Brandon Bass and Greg Steamsma and Ryan Hollins. I mean, those guys they're not enforcers. That's not what they do. Look, the game didn't go into that, and that's good. But as you said, Rondo can say whatever he wants, but he's not going to intimidate LeBron, Wade, or anybody else on Miami.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously Celtics had that outside shot going, and that outside shot was working very good. But, I would rather have a strong inside quick game than an outside game because the percentages are going to favor that inside game when it comes down to it, and I think that's what we saw tonight, Paul.
That's exactly right. It's like in boxing, good big man beats good little man. The closer in you can get shots, the better you're going to do. If you can go inside, you're going to do better. And that's the way it is. There are exceptions to that rule. Spurs have been a little bit of an exception. Dallas Mavericks were an exception last year. But you have to be a supreme jump shooting team to be able to do that. And the Celtics really aren't that. They're efficient, but when your best jump shooter, Ray Allen, is hurting and Kevin Garnett's playing 40-plus minutes in an overtime game, you can't rely on jump shots. And that's what happened tonight.
So look, it's a super celebration for the Miami Heat. They have to be super happy, all the fans of the Heat. I think, Paul, this is going to come down to what we said before, which is Miami Heat versus San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. A lot of talk about this, but I know the Boston fans are going to want to weigh in on this because, in my personal opinion, Boston fans, this was your big chance. This was where you could weigh in and do it, and it was so close, dude. And what about the performance of Rondo? And what about Paul Pierce and the whole locker room thing? We're going to have a video on that next. I want to talk about that. Do you think there's a bigger meaning in that? Do you think that was the right move with Paul Pierce? Do you think that was just an honest mistake? What happened with that? We're going to deal with that, and we're going to talk about that next. But, I mean, this just sets up, in my personal opinion, a super matchup between the Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs. Now, neither one of these series are done yet. Eastern Conference and Western Conference, so there's still a lot of basketball to play, but when both these teams are sitting at 2-0, the percentages say, that they're in very, very good positions to be able to advance to the next round. Now, also, Paul is going to have, the NBA expert there is going to have his analysis and his report of the game, so stay tuned for that as well. Lots more to talk about it. I need you people right now to weigh in on this. NBA fans, speak on it. And Miami fans, it's your chance to celebrate. Boston fans, it's your chance to sound off as well and tell us how you think Boston can stay in this series. Give us a comment below. Please subscribe above. I'm John D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion. That is Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Please rate this video up. Also, please post to your social networking sites. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.